Japan was an early pioneer in the advancement of East Asian intelligence. The Tokugawa and Meiji periods ushered in a new era of intellectual thoughts characterized by Japan's assimilation to Chinese and Western cultures. This adaptation was profound and invigorated the advancement of science and technology in Japan for several centuries. Western ideologies would command the governance of the imperial university system and later research laboratories. All research was published in Western languages. At the same time, a strong state-centered governmental approach and the privatization of heavy industries stimulated Japan's period success. The country would go on to become the world's foremost leader in scientific research through the end of World War II. Despite its brief post-World War II turmoil and the subsequent U.S. occupation, Japan would recover by once again assimilating to Western culture, this time producing necessary wartime materials for the U.S. occupation in Korea. This economic stimulus launched Japan into its late 20th century success. However, in recent years, their economy has paralleled the struggles of the Sony Corporation. It is unlikely that Japan will regain its former margin over other countries in the scientific arena, and they cannot rely on a wartime stimulus to revamp their economy. Therefore, they must invest more heavily in foreign development domestically. Under the former Qing dynasty, there was a near total neglect for engineering, mathematics, and other applied sciences, contributing to a growing divide between the state and military. Then, the Sino-Japanese War marked a turning point in Chinese education, with renewed emphasis on science and technology and the abolition of the state examination. The Xinhai Revolution occurred shortly thereafter in 1911, marking the end of the Qing dynasty and the establishment of the Republic of China. Under the new order, China began to send students abroad, accept missionaries and foreigners, and promote private Chinese entrepreneurship. However, the former resulted in considerable brain drain, reopening the gap between the state and military. In 1949, the Chinese Revolution saw the Communist Party rise to power. Scientists trained abroad prior to 1949 became leading figures under the Red regime, whereas those trained domestically were of unequal caliber. The Communist Party adopted the Soviet educational structure. This created an atmosphere that valued results over creativity, effectively stymied innovation, and rewarded an industrial copy-and-paste mentality. This has led China to be equipped as a factory of the world. Harsh governmental censorship further bogs down the development of Chinese science and technology. China's tumultuous political past and present is holding the nation back from becoming the world's premier scientific community in spite of their flourishing economy. However, a more open and tolerant political landscape may give rise to a new era of Chinese scientists in the 21st century. Korea had a strong Neo-Confucian tradition and discouraged its citizens from paying any attention to Western science and technology. However, Korea was annexed by Japan in 1910 and remained under their sovereign rule and consequent influence until 1945. The Korean War broke out several years later in 1950, ending in 1953 with the separation of North and South Korea by the DMZ. Under the militaristic leadership of President Park Chung-hee, South Korea quickly established itself as a budding scientific community. Just years after the Korean War, South Korean researchers broke ground with the development of their first experimental nuclear reactor in 1959. The scientific community received widespread governmental support for the development of science and technology, leading to the establishment of the Korean Institute of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, and Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. The Korean industry and economy benefited from these socio-technical installments, placing South Korea amongst the top global economies. South Korea's rapid success in the late 20th century is attributed to its non-creative practice of reverse engineering. Now, akin to the Samsung Electronics unfinished story, South Korea must foster an environment of creativity to move forward as a world leader in science and technology.